Good morning and happy Thanksgiving. That's not PM. Yeah, I had this place all prettied up, and after traveling and doing different stuff, it's all messy again. So, I am up early. I've been up for more than an hour. I did a few stomach exercises because I will not be able to walk if I don't. I got my bag packed, wearing my nicer clothes. I am going to meet up with some family. We are going to go out to a restaurant to have Thanksgiving dinner. That's I forgot what that's called. Yeah. Yeah, I moved my heater onto the floor because I have a notorious problem with condensation. It's so bad, it's a constant battle, and I am going to purchase a dehumidifier. And the reason why I didn't before is because oh, nice. I was worried about the amps. So that water kettle is extremely fast. It uses up a lot of amps. I like my half and half, but this like stretches it out, and I can, this whole thing is $1 at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, but no, it is not healthy. It's not good for me at all. But I use it because I'm traveling. Um, so, I don't know that my stomach is prepared for the Thanksgiving dinner. The good news is that there aren't very many. Well, we like the buffet. We were looking for a buffet, and it's not a buffet. It's hard to, the buffets, the ones that I know of, are very expensive. So, what I just figured out, because I don't feel, I overate last night, and with my gallstones, it's just not a luxury that I am allowed to continue. My stomach can't handle it. It just feels blah and bloated and yucky, and I can't do that anymore. I can't eat a lot of sugar, a lot of crap, a lot of um, over processed foods, um, too much fat or too high protein. I did get a bit of a tummy upset the other day. I had had 2 eggs for breakfast with toast and coffee, and it was just a little upset. And if you watch my videos, you know that I got sick from eating eggs, and I had been able to eat eggs now that I discovered. But what I think I will do is only eat 1 egg at a time and not eat 2, because it's the yolk, the protein in the yolk seems to be hard to digest. I am not eating any beefsteaks anytime soon. I was able to eat a beef hot dog. I have bursitis in my left hand, so it hurts when I hold stuff sometimes. So I wore this all night. Going to continue wearing it. It's hard. It's hard to hold the phone with it. So I guess the good and the bad is that what's been kind of wonderful is last 2 camps I've been in, including this one and the last one, have been very peaceful. No incidences, not with staff, not with neighbors. Well, I did have, I totally missed it. And the reason why I didn't record it, well, my battery died in my SUV. Yeah, and I had to get a new one. And I was calling around. I ain't got no money. Calling around, and nobody wants to give me financing. They don't do financing. They didn't even inquire for me. And, finally, guess who does? Les Schwab. Gotta love them. Gotta love Les Schwab. They are there for you. See, I use my little refrigerator. I know I'm changing subjects here. I don't have a problem with it, but some people do, I guess. I don't segue well all the time, but I use my little refrigerator, and my half and half goes in there. I do have one left over, and these things are great, and I wanted to get a backup, but I haven't been in a Walmart in a few weeks. So, okay, I tell you something that I really like to have on hand as a backup is the Gosner milk. Now, I like to get the whole milk because if I do run out of half and half for my coffee, the whole milk is the next best thing, and I have used it. It's not quite creamy enough for my coffee. I don't know, it's the texture, it's just, it's what I'm used to. It's too, there's a bitterness. Now, coffee, I am a chronic coffee lover, and I've grown accustomed to a certain level of strength in my coffee that has to be toned down with creamer. And if I don't have that creamer, I have to make weaker coffee. And I do understand that ratio principle, but it just doesn't make coffee the way that I like. But there can come a time when I have to do that. Yeah. Oh, that looks, I think I got too much cream in there. Anyway. So, yeah, my car battery died, and Les Schwab came to the rescue. And problem is I'm not in the town where my post office box is, so I haven't been able to get my mail. And I was going to, and I did go into another post office to ask if I could switch my box to another location, and they say that I only get like a partial reimbursement or refund, and they won't do a straight switch for what I paid. Okay, imagine that. But anyway, I don't know, somehow I was under that impression. So, I'm just going to wait until the amount that I paid for like the 6 months or whatever is done, and then I'm going to move my post office box to a closer location to one of my camps. The thing with mail is it's just not very convenient having mail when I have to move. I don't, even if I want to stay in one place, I can't because it's against my camping membership. So if I have 2 camps that are as close together as I can possibly get, I'm only near one of them for a certain period of time, and so the other amount of time that I have to go to another camp, I can't get my mail. So hopefully nothing important shows up when when I'm not there. So, okay, let's put this coffee stuff away because we're done. And I'm gonna unplug that. Coffee. I'll show you what I get. I'll show you my deal. Since I'm making a video, I may as well. This is what I drink now. I had to give up coffee because in general, for people with gallstones, don't necessarily have to give up coffee. But I did because I've had an upset stomach for many, many years, decades, and have been taking acid reducers. And lo and behold, I researched it online and found out that low acid levels can actually create gallstones. Imagine that! So, long story short, my medical company won't approve, it wouldn't approve my acid reducers, and it asked my doctor to give a medical explanation as to why I was taking them, why I needed them, and she wouldn't, which I find very interesting, because it seems to me that for somebody who's a naturopath, which she is, I criticize conventional medicine in general because they have a tendency to treat the symptoms and not the cause. Well, if having low acid levels was creating my gallstones in the first place, then it seems like what I was doing was causing the problem. But now I got a situation where, I'm in danger of getting an ulcer, which they did a test, found out I do not have one. And now that I have to turn off the heater when I'm heating my water for coffee. This is, man, my memory's going. What's this called? A French press. Anyway, it's a miniature French press. A friend of mine, actually was a guy that was a friend of hers. He gave this to her, and she doesn't even drink coffee, which I find interesting because she was just being a gracious person by accepting the gift, but she doesn't even drink coffee. I guess she just sees it as she'll just give it to somebody else, and she knew somebody who drinks coffee, and that's me. It's good, and one of the reasons she doesn't drink coffee is because she is into, what's that other thing that's not naturopathy? The holistic. Anyway, she's into holistic medicine. She's really into it, and the coffee counteracts her holistic medicine. Anyway, I watched this coffee expert guy on YouTube, and it is a fact that coffee made while all of the 100% of the grounds are being saturated in water all at the same time creates the best flavor, the most flavor that you can get from your grounds is doing it that way. But I invested in all these coffee filters, which fell on the floor at my mooch stalker's house. So I threw away a lot of them, but I didn't throw away the ones that didn't look like they weren't too contaminated. Disgusting, especially considering that they're always walking into the house without changing their shoes from the chickens. I say more. And invested in. I've got two different. I've got this one, and well, there's this one, which actually has a wider lip. It fits over bigger cups. And then there's this is left over from a coffee maker that I got rid of eons ago, but I keep it because it's a good emergency coffee filter basket just in case I didn't have one. I have lost my coffee filter baskets before. This fits on a smaller cup, like a regular size coffee mug. So, and my mom got me that one because I lost this one. Okay. So, anyway. So, why do something new when you've been doing the same thing wrong all this time? Yeah, kind of like in politics. Anyway, without saying anything about what I'm talking about. Okay. So, yeah. So my big issue is condensation. That's my number one biggest issue with nomad living. I live in my travel trailer. This is my travel trailer, and I gotta get with it, because what I'm basically planning on doing today is I'm gonna go do a bunch of laundry on the same day that I am I need to do it in the morning before I go meet my family for Thanksgiving at a restaurant. And so that's the plan. That's why I'm up so early. But I'm not naturally an early riser, but I have in the last few days I've been getting myself used to getting up a little bit earlier. So I changed my internal clock a little bit, which was good. Excuse me. That'll work. Yeah. I would say it's pretty strong with a lot of cream. Normally I would use less cream and more water, but we can't be perfect all the time. So, I still got my filters put away. So, okay, there's a way to do it, and I had it down. If I don't do it right, it won't fit. This is the uncontaminated pouch, and there's a few left. It didn't fall on the floor. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna buy a dehumidifier, and I found one pretty cheap on Amazon for like $32, and it looks pretty small. And the main reason why I didn't get one, I wasn't planning on getting one, it was because I was worried about amps. And but this has got to be using up quite a bit of amps, because it has caused the breaker to flip before. When I was in Yuma, it did. So I understand. Here's a thing from the. Ooh, I don't want you to see that. I don't know if you saw that. Anyway, this thing that talks about ampage. Anyway, try going under 27 amps. Oh, yeah. Well, I think my thing is 15 or 20. I don't even know. It's got to be 20, because it had flipped more often if it had been 15. My cord, my plug. Anyway, this thing, I was worried about that this has too many amps. Personally, I think that it does. But I can switch it to low. It's not quite as bad. But it's got a fan. See, okay, so my problem is, okay, one of the appeals of this, why I bought this, was because the outside is fiberglass, and so it doesn't leak. It's not gonna leak. But guess what? It leaks on the bottom from underneath, and it gets, because I have to have these on the floor because of the corners dig into my floor. It the bed ruins my floor, so it's wet under here. Wet. Now we're talking. It used to. I would press down on it, and water would squeeze out. And I could take the time to show you all the corners and the little puddles, but it's better because I also, anyway, there's a little baby heater in there, and it's on the floor there in the corner, and I switch it back and forth. I turn it back and forth, and it's been making a difference. It's making it a little drier, the wall, because the wall gets wet, drippy wet, and it's been making a difference. Now it's still not dry, and it's wet under under that. It's wet. But yeah, hopefully anyway, having the heaters on the floor has been helping a lot, because I can't keep up. I can't keep wiping down the floors and the walls. It's never enough. So having the heaters on the floor, it still does the job in keeping me warm. But I actually have been keeping this trailer even warmer than I probably would go to the trouble of making it, just to try to effect the condensation. So I'm using up a lot of electricity all the time. Obviously I'm plugged in. There's no way I could do this boondocking. Yeah. Unless I was in, frankly, southern Arizona. That's the only way. That's the only way that I could live in this thing without electricity. I would have to be in a hot, dry climate all the time. Yeah. So I'm the budget is so tight, I don't even want to know. You don't want to know. But now anyway, because Slush Schwab gave me the financing, and I had to buy a new battery and the service for the guy to come out and rescue me, because he started my car when it wouldn't start. It was dead. And so I had to pay for it, and then I had to get new windshield wipers. So all that's one more bill I wasn't expecting, and frankly, I just hope I can make it all and have enough for gas. It's just too much sometimes. I just don't know where it's going to come from. Anyway, because I had to take out loans a loan to buy the license plate for this trailer. It's just crazy, and I used up my credit card for the gas, having to get back home because I had no medical coverage and outside of Washington State. So I'm in debt up to my ears. And but today is Thanksgiving, and I am grateful. I am thankful. I am thankful. Okay, let me tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for God has brought me this far without, there's many terrible things that could happen to me that have not. And in the last two camps, including these last two camps, have been very peaceful. so much better than when I was mooch docking. And I gotta tell you, you know, most of the time I would think when people mooch dock, they're with friends or family that they like and they get along with. And that's why they do that. Um, but one of the people, the roommate, I don't get along with, so um, that was not so I'm not going back there as far as that goes. I will still see, I still communicate with the person that I went there to see, but I will not be visiting at all. So my options are limited. I'm pretty much out there again on my own. I'm not going to be doing the mooch docking thing, though I will be mooch docking for a week at Christmas time, just because that's the way it's got to happen in order, because I couldn't see going back to camp a couple hours away on Christmas evening. No, that just wouldn't work. I like having the night open and to not worry about having to drive for long ways to get back home. So, no, I don't drink. Just, anyway. So, it'll be interesting to see how it does after a dehumidifier. And I believe that this methodology is making a big difference already. Having this on the floor and the one that's back there. I don't know, can you see? It's too dark right now. I'm just not going to go back there. That's another thing I want to do is I had